So I don't know if you guys maybe don't watch this stuff. So if you watch MMA, right? There's this guy.
Convinced we come from monkeys. But
Now, what's interesting here is this guy. This guy's the fighter. This guy's like a MMA YouTuber guy, and this guy here is a fighter. Okay, MMA fighter. What's interesting about this guy is he's Christian. He's a workie, but he's Christian, quote unquote. And also, but this is all staged. This whole thing is staged. This whole conversation is staged, right? But I'm just telling you what's going on here. This guy's a workie. This guy on the left, and also, what happened was he was saying something on a podcast. He was talking about how Hitler was a good guy, and he would have gone fishing with them. Okay. Oh, you saw the mission. You know this interview, right? Good. So then this guy goes, Lana Del Rey. She's wicked too, though, man. But did you see? I was looking at her recently too. I don't know you saw that. Anyway. So this guy's talking about. He was like how Hitler was a good guy. I would have went fishing with him and all this stuff. It made a big kind of like controversy, but all of it's staged. All of it's staged. And so this conversation is staged too. I was just saying it's very interesting what these guys are about to talk about. Just so I don't know, listen up.
How's it going, man? You got training coming up soon, I hear?
yes, sir. Training at 6:00. And first, dude, I only know you as the mma-guru. I got to get your real name, brother.
I don't like saying my real name on here, Bryce. It's a dangerous world, giving my opinions online, especially in the UK. I don't know if you're aware.
Dude, it's so much communism. It's run rampant. And let me tell you where communism stems from. Communism always follows atheism. And this is not an attack on anybody specifically. I'm just telling you the facts, and the facts hurt people's feelings. In a Christian nation, there is no communism. When there are Christian nations, they're the strongest. They conquer the world. They seize everything. They have healthy societies. Where there is Satanism, where there's atheism, there follows communism. Always.
See what they're doing? They're setting up this thing. Like Bryce Mitchell's gonna kill that guy. You know, Bryce Mitchell's gonna kill that guy who was, that guy Gene Silva who was dissing him and all that stuff. Bryce Mitchell's gonna smoke that guy. I bet you anything. Bryce Mitchell's gonna absolutely choke that guy out or something. All right, and then he's gonna be the hero, and then people are gonna start listening to him. Right? He's gonna tell them about flat Earth and Hitler was okay and all this stuff. They're gonna talk all this weird stuff. But he's going to get them into his false version of Christianity, which is works-based. Listen to what these guys say.
You can't. Communism and Christianity do not mix. Okay, so I just wanted to say that, brother, and I love you too. I want to say that, and I pray for your nation, and I know everything that's going on, brother. I see it all. People think I'm an idiot.
You know what it is, man? You know what it is? I knew. First of all, that guy is much older than me, so I respect the people's age, right? Secondly, I knew he was going to be polite. And so, you know what it is? I try to be polite as long as they're polite. The only reason I started yelling at what's his name, Reggie, Woke Veggie or whatever, is because he started calling me a liar or something like that. You know? So I try to stay polite until they start saying dumb things, then I start getting mad. Which maybe that's not the best strategy, but that's what I do. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying probably it's better to, like, even if they do start saying things that are bad, just call them out for it, but you stay polite. That would be the best thing to do, you know? But I do if you were asking me why I choose to be rude to that guy Woke Veggie and I wasn't rude to the old man, it's because of that. Because he's very polite.
Yeah, I know what's going on in the UK. I know what's going on in Africa. I know what's going on in China. I know what's going on in Russia.
Yeah, exactly. They think, like, even if that one event, the event that shall not be denied, right? If that event was fake, that doesn't mean he was all right. Actually, you know what it is? They have a whole narrative, eh? They have a whole narrative about how he wasn't the aggressor. He wanted peace. And, it was the British and the British were like, so and that's kind of a like credible story in a certain way. If you understand history from a certain perspective, like if you actually believe their version of history, and then you just found out a few things about H-Man that kind of led you to another conclusion, then the whole idea of Hitler did nothing wrong is not that far-fetched from that perspective on history. You know what I mean? From our perspective, it's like he's just a shill. They're all shills, you know what I mean? Or that's what I would say about it anyway. You think it could be shit? I hang around most of Guru's lives, and he seems very normal, just like a random YouTuber that got rich. But well, I wondered if controlled. Oh yeah, he's completely controlled. This guy's controlled opposition, bro. That's why he's another part of this thing. See how he'll talk about little things? He'll like sneak in little things, right? Little things that you think like, oh, he's real. He's a real one. He's natural. He's chilling. But no, man, he's programmed. They're moving the conversation in the way of the people like this, just slowly. I'm not sure what their agenda is, but I can see that's what they're doing. This guy is not just some random person who happened to build up a YouTube channel. That's not what happened here. This guy's a shill. Bryce Mitchell's a shill. You know what I mean? This whole conversation is staged.
All this shit is evil.
I know, and I agree with you about the. Even though I'm not a Christian myself, Bryce, I agree with you that faith keeps a nation strong. I very much agree with you.
SP. Well, with SP, listen, SP. I've known SP for a while. Like I like SP, but when he started calling me heresy and all this stuff, maybe I should have just chilled out though with that too. Probably I went too far with SP. I feel bad. SP probably hates me now.
If the UK wasn't first to fall into that whole atheism thing, maybe they'd be in a different position right now when it comes to the law of this country.
Maybe it'd be a definitely.
Yeah,
Any nation that serves God will prosper. That's a fact. God will not let a nation crumble down that serves Him. He will not. He will.
This is like once again from the standpoint of their version of history. If you just look at history, like you actually believe that Germany is an independent country, and England, Russia, France, all these countries, right? From that perspective, if you also realize that the H cost was not true, right? That event, then you could interpret like the way things went down. Like it's like why did he invade this Sudetenland or whatever that thing is in Czechoslovakia, right? It's because that was their territory before, and the people there were being kind of oppressed, the Germans that were living there and stuff, So everything has a reason. They could make the case that Hitler did nothing wrong, Anyways, so.
He will not let inferior heathen destroy a nation. It just simply will not happen. But when a nation turns to sexual immorality, pervertedness, wickedness, and it just runs rampant, and the kids are defiled in the schools, and God's going to destroy you every time.
Almost deserved, some would say.
Well, his wrath is righteous, brother. You can say I don't like it or this or that. You can have your opinions, but God knows what He's doing, and He don't make mistakes. And the only reason that America is hanging on by a thread is because we have that pocket of Christianity that will die serving the Lord. And I do believe that the day that America is going to fall is coming. I really do believe that, brother.
Hey, they're trying to get you. They're trying to make you fall down the Western Europe route. We got a few places in Europe holding strong. Poland, I know, is holding strong with their faith right now. I know you're probably a big fan of Poland, Bryce, if you know about the world.
Poland, bro. I love Poland so much, bro. It's amazing.
See how they're making it. They're putting this. So the two of them are putting this argument forward that Christianity is good for your nation, and we need to go back to Christian values, right? And Poland is just they're Catholics, and then this guy's supposedly like Southern Baptist or whatever, but he's clearly a works-based shill. Like, listen to what he says. Anyway, sorry.
If there was one country I was going to move to, it would be Poland.
They're keeping their faith strong, and they're probably, as you said, they're trying to get it going in the US as well.
See, like
generosity and filth.
And then this is the thing, like he's like, oh, Poland. If there's one place I go, is Poland. Like, so either Bryce is actually an idiot who knows nothing, and then he's just that dumb that he doesn't know the Poland Catholic, or whatever. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he know that? Or what? Anyway, this is dumb. But listen to what he says. He's gonna talk some workspace stuff.
Filth spreading across that nation. You got to keep it strong.
Yeah, we're trying, brother, and we're living in the book of Revelation. I don't know if you're familiar with Revelation. So Revelation is the last book in the Bible, and it talks about.
No. It's what happened is it's not that anybody banned the Bible. I don't think anybody banned the Bible. That would be extreme. But what's going on right now? Anyway, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, Seeker, but There is a story going around right now about the definition of anti-Semitism. They want to put in this new definition of anti-Semitism from the IHRA, the International Holocaust something or something like that. But anyway, the IHRA has a different definition of anti-Semitism. They want to implement that in different places. And if that according to that definition, certain things in the Bible would be, according to that definition, they would be anti-Semitic. Such as the claim that the Jews killed Jesus or something like that, which the Bible clearly states. Mitchell's story about his testimony was very weird with the witch and stuff. Who knows what really happened? Yeah. This guy's a shill, bro. Straight up 100% shill. I kind of was like, I was sympathetic to him until he said the thing about it. Then I realized this whole thing is just staged.
About all the degeneracy that comes at the end of times. It even says, I don't
is that right?
Is that
I didn't know that.
Revelation.
I didn't know that, eh? Or was it? Wait, well, this is what I was replying to before. So yeah, when we hear Mitchell's thing, you guys are gonna trip. But with this thing, Poland has mass immigration too. I didn't know that. Mongols love Poland, but don't realize they're in the same boat. Is that really? Is that true? I thought they had reduced it. But you know what's kind of standing strong? Hungary. But I'm telling you, even that whole notion that, those countries, those are the ones that are holding it up, like Hungary or Poland or whatever. But those are also just completely control opposition. But they're like anyway. Like if I show you all the things with Viktor Orban and stuff and the Jews, it's crazy, bro. Candace, yeah, like this is what I'm saying. Candace is another example of what I'm trying to tell you. That there's certain things, and me and Nathan were talking about this before too. There's certain things that used to be off the board. You're not allowed to talk about them, right? Now they're getting certain of their shills to talk about them. So they'll get what's her name? Candace to talk about like the Gaza genocide, get her fired from Daily Wire. Then it becomes a story, So what I think they're trying to do is get people more and more divided. And then on the right, they're going to reveal more and more about the things. And on the left, they're going to say, don't, all those people are insane, and just make it more and more divided, this society. Maybe that's their strategy. I don't really know. Oh, is that right? That's so sad. I used to go out with this Polish girls. Poland is awesome.
But this is in regards to the end of the world. Women will not know how to be women. Men will not know how to be men. I mean, it prophesizes, and so going back to Revelation talks about the whole power in the world, the elite power structure funneling up to where one man rules the whole earth. What do you see going on right now?
I see Elon Musk. That's what I see, Bryce Mitchell. I see him nice and clear.
See that? Like, I'm sorry, man. Anybody who tries to tell me Elon Musk is the Antichrist, you're mental, Or maybe it is, whatever. Anyway, the point is though, this whole conversation is staged. The idea that Elon Musk is the Antichrist is staged. They're playing us, man. They're playing us. They're playing people that believe this stuff,
And let me tell you, have you heard of the mark of the beast? Speaking of Elon Musk.
I have heard of the mark of the beast, and it sounds a lot like those chips he's trying to put in our thumbs, brother.
Brother, now is a good time for you to call on Jesus, because I promise you the end is near.
See that?
And I
see that? Call on Jesus.
If you call
on Jesus. Call on Jesus, right? Because this person is not, he doesn't know what salvation is. He doesn't know. He thinks he's gonna talk about his changed life in a minute. He's gonna start talking about how his life completely changed. He got a house, he got this, he got that, he got a family and all this stuff. Wicked.
Call on Jesus. Well, if it doesn't work, you're not going to risk anything, but it will work. He will change your life like me. I'm living in a nice house now. I got a wife and a kid, and I have all the reason to fight for the Lord. I had no purpose before I called on God. I was I was a total atheist. I was convinced we come from monkeys, but then I started seeing some of these prophecies unfold, such as the mark of the beast. It talks about a mark that will go on every man's head or every man's palm, and you can't buy or sell without that mark. And now here we have Elon Musk, who has all the money in the world. And what is the one thing Elon wants more than anything? He wants to put a mark in your head. And I'm telling you, Revelation has talked about this for 2,000 years. We are in the end times. The time is short. You will reap what you sow, and the harvest is near, brother.
I mean, I thought we were going to get to this towards the middle of the podcast, but we're starting out strong with some of these points, Bryce Mitchell. I like it. Coming in hot. Elon Musk. seeming like a little bit too controlling for my liking, getting his hands on everything, it seems.
But you know what? Well, this understand, like, look, I'm not trying to say I don't support multiculturalism. I never have, okay? I'm not trying to, well, maybe I did back in the day, but whatever. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say that what you're saying here is incorrect, Seeker, but I am saying this, that they're trying to get people like us to think that that's a problem, that's the problem. The problem is immigration and multiculturalism or Muslims or whatever. That's not the problem. The problem is just that we ourselves, or as a nations, or our nations are turning away from God. And so God is causing these problems in our lives. And then when these problems come up, they say, oh, that's why. That's the problem. We got to stop that thing, and then things will go back to normal. But the real thing that's causing everything to not be normal is that nobody is trusting in God, you know? Anyway.
Well, yeah, and everything that he touches is a lie. It's a fabricated lie. Whether it's his electric cars, you know, our power grid can't even support electric cars. And his electric cars suck. They cost way too much and they do too little. About SpaceX, total lie. He's never been to space. Space don't exist. There's something called a firmament. People don't understand biblical cosmology. For 2,000 years, people have known about the firmament. Elon Musk knows about the firmament, but he deceives people. He makes people think he goes into space and this and that. SpaceX, fraudulent. Tesla, fraudulent. Mark of the Beast, Neuralink, fraudulent. Doge, I don't even think they're doing that good. I think that it's fraudulent. They're using that to deport who they want and don't want to. They're using that as a to implement power where they see fit.
If people had real faith in their gods, right? Whether it's a Muslim god or the Hindus or a Christian, they wouldn't even want to leave. Like if they believed in their gods, if they really believed in whatever their religion is, they would just stay right where they are. They wouldn't feel this need to come out to the West or whatever they're doing. But there's lots of factors. Like they destabilize the third world, and then they cause the third world countries to want to emigrate, and then they open the borders in the West to cause those people to come here. But at the same time, all of it is just part of their bigger plan. Is just like Muslims do want to conquer, kind of. But I think this is the other thing too. Like I guess I don't know, man. If they didn't, let's say America and Canada and these Western countries never allowed them to come here, right? They just never start. Like they used to have this immigration policy of only whites, basically, right? Now they changed it to like basically non-racist or whatever they want to say, right? So now, yeah, it's in their tenets with TENETS, but yeah, you're right. But most of them don't think about that stuff, you know. They're not into that, man. They're not trying to take over the world. They just want to have a normal life. But like, I'm not saying like if you let enough of them into your country, they're gonna start demanding changes, demanding certain like of their religious things to be allowed, change the holidays or whatever. But what I'm saying though is that if you just leave them in their countries, they're not gonna start any trouble. Iran is not gonna invade anyone, you know. Like where they were living, they're not going to start wars and all this stuff, you know. It's only because of Israel that they started becoming a problem, you know. They were never a problem before. When the Ottomans ruled all that stuff, they weren't a problem. Those Middle Eastern people, you know, they were just a problem within their little Ottoman Empire, I guess, but not really, because the Ottomans kind of kept everything under control. But now they're a problem because you're letting them into these other countries where they don't fit in, and then they're trying to change things to make it into their worldview, you know. Like Muslims, like people try to blame like the war in Israel on Islam, but like I was saying to you guys when you were listening to the thing about the Palestine thing, like they lived in peace with the Jews for hundreds of years. Thousands of years, you know, before. Exactly. That's the thing. They let all, even me, like even all of us, like all the immigrants from third world countries that they bring into these white countries, right? They're doing it for a reason. And they destabilize those countries to push people into these countries. They do that for a reason. They do that on purpose, you know? Everything is by design, and it's like an old plan. But it's not, but with these people, they try to like give us all this dumb thing, man.
Okay. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Studying the Bible with Mike and Pat. These other YouTubers are just so trash. Hit the thumbs up if you wanna support. Go follow Mike as he follows the Lord. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 You better watch out, Mike's calling out the Shills. If you're not free grace, you need to sit down and chill. We're not hyper grace, you know we keep it real. Eternally secure, you know that we're sealed. We don't back low, we're not workspace heretics. Mike's not in it for the money, trying to get a lick. They out here selling their souls for a couple clicks. Becoming Freemasons so they can't just get rich. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Shout out to Mike and Pat. Check out his channel, Toronto Bible Study. Subscribe and like.